You've been faithful to your daily walk. Same route, same pace. Yet sleep is still shallow, stairs still bite at your knees, and you grip the banister harder than last year. The quiet gap? Walking is wonderful for the heart, but after 60 it often isn't enough to rebuild the leg strength, hip power, and ankle stability that protect balance and independence. Your stake is everything that makes a day feel yours. Deep sleep, clear memory, steady energy, sure-footed steps. One micro habit to start this very morning. Before coffee, perform 5 slow sit-to-stands from a sturdy chair, arms crossed over your chest if you can. If tomorrow's first steps feel sure, you've found your doorway. Here's the contrast. Those who add targeted, surgeon-approved strength and balance drills, short, precise, and joint-smart, often report fewer night aches, faster stair climbs, and a strange new confidence when the floor turns slick. Those who don't may keep stacking miles while the very muscles that keep them upright quietly thin. Orthopedic and spine surgeons often echo the same principle. Pain-smart strengthening beats mileage for knees, hips, and backs. Physical therapy research points to simple moves that walking can't replace. Chair rises for functional power, step-ups for stair control, heel-toe work for ankle balance, rowing patterns for posture, and loaded carries for everyday resilience. Think of them not as harder than walking, but more complete than walking. Picture Evelyn in Minneapolis, 72, a retired librarian with a kitchen that smells of warm toast and lemon soap. She walked every afternoon, raincoat flapping, yet at night her thighs throbbed and the tub edge felt higher each week. A hospital class taught by a joint replacement team changed one belief. Miles won't rebuild what minutes of targeted strength can. She began with 5 sit-to-stands before tea, 10 step-ups to a low stair while soup simmered, and a heel-toe routine as the kettle warmed. The first week, nothing dramatic, only a softer ache. By week 3, she rose from the garden kneeler without bargaining. One evening she caught her reflection carrying groceries, shoulders back, hands steady, and realized the fear had left her face. What this means for a 50-plus listener: add small, precise moves to your walk, and the body starts giving strength back. First, choose a safe anchor, a sturdy chair, and a low step. Next, weave one exercise into a habit you already have, kettle on equals heel-toe set. Then keep the numbers small but slow. Your joints prefer patience to heroics. Finally, if you've had surgery or live with heart, eye, or balance conditions, ask your clinician which versions fit you best. There's always an option. Quick invitation. If this first idea already sparked an aha, drop one word below, chair or step. Your word might be someone else's start. The independence rehearsal, sit to stand, why it beats more steps. Practical pointer before the story. Perform 5 slow sit-to-stands every morning and evening from a firm, non-rolling chair. You'll know you're on track when toilets, car seats, and low couches feel less like traps and more like pauses. Why this matters after 60. Walking doesn't train the specific get up, power your thighs and hips need. Sit-to-stand is the exact movement pattern that preserves independence. It recruits quads, glutes, and core while rehearsing balance without the joint pounding of deep squats. Surgeons like it because it's controllable, measurable, and directly linked to safer recoveries after procedures. Instruction block. Chair rise, safe and strong. First, place a sturdy chair against a wall. Sit tall near the edge, feet under knees, chest open, eyes forward. Next, press the floor away through your heels and stand in 3 slow counts, exhaling as you rise. Arms crossed or lightly reaching forward. Use hands on thighs if needed. Then pause tall for 1 breath. Soften your knees and lower in 3 counts until your hips just tap the seat. Finally, rest as needed and repeat for a small set. Stop before wobble and keep the movement quiet, not plopping. Benefits you can feel: stronger thighs, easier stairs, steadier mornings. Ignored, weak sit-to-stand power is often associated with falls, rushed transfers, and restless sleep from overworked joints. A micro story in a sunny kitchen. Nelson, 69, in San Diego, kept a yellow sticky note on his kettle: 5 rises. The first week, his breath sounded like wine through a bottle. His wife smiled and tapped the counter in time. By week 2, he noticed the car felt higher, because he did. What this means for a 50-plus listener: small, consistent strength beats long, inconsistent walks for everyday independence. First, attach the drill to a cue you never miss: coffee, news, or a favorite song. Next, count your slow seconds, not reps. Control builds joints. Then, when 5 is easy, add a book on your lap or hold for a quiet pause above the chair. Finally, celebrate a real-life win: the day you rise from the low couch without pushing off. If this simple rehearsal already feels doable, write "chair" in the comments. We'll know you've started. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to Senior Wisdom and Wellness for weekly, joint-smart routines that protect sleep, balance, and independence. The Stair Confidence Builder, Step UPS, why surgeons love them. Quick do now. Find a low, stable step, the bottom stair, or a sturdy exercise step. Practice 5 slow ascents per leg, holding a rail. You'll know it's working when your knees stop complaining halfway up the real staircase. Why this matters after 60. Step-ups target the very chain that walking underuses: glute medius for hip stability, quads for controlled lift, calves for ankle drive. Orthopedic teams often prioritize step-ups in rehab because they mimic daily life while allowing precise height control, less strain than lunges, more functional than leg machines. A larger story with a soft turning point. Rosa, 70, from Brighton, had a hallway that smelled faintly of lavender and a staircase she had begun to resent. Each evening she would stand at the bottom, fingers grazing the rail, bargaining. 1 flight, then tea. A joint clinic workshop introduced her to the low step-up: tiny height, glacier pace, full control. The first night she practiced while soup simmered, heel heavy, knee tracking over toes, eyes soft. Her breath was the tempo. By week 2, she noticed an odd absence. The mid-stair sting didn't arrive. One rainy morning, she carried laundry up without dividing it into guilty little piles. The house felt whole again. What this means for a 50-plus listener: owning 1 small step at home can return you the courage to take every other step outside. Instruction block: safe step-up sequence. First, face the step with a rail at your side. Plant your entire right foot, heel to toes, on the step. Next, press through your heel and stand tall onto the step in 3 counts, letting the back leg float up lightly. Use the rail for light balance, not a pull. Then tap the back foot on the step without putting weight on it. Soften your front knee and lower in 3 counts until the back foot meets the floor. Finally, switch legs and repeat. Keep your knee lined with second toe, pelvis level, and posture proud. Benefits: stronger hips and knees, better stair tolerance, improved walking speed. Ignoring stair strength may be associated with shortened stride, hand-heavy rail use, and the slow creep of rooms you avoid. Question for you, and a little courage for someone else: which step in your home will be your training ground? Porch, hallway, or gym box? Share 1 word. A simple claim over a single step is how whole houses come back to life. The Hidden Balance Builder, heel-to-toe walk. Quick start: take 10 slow steps in a straight line, 1 foot's heel touching the other foot's toes each time. You'll know it's working when your ankles feel steadier and your fear of that uneven patch on the sidewalk starts to fade. Why this matters after 60. Surgeons and neurologists both stress this. Balance isn't only in the head, it's trained through ankles, hips, and eyes working together. Walking in straight lines builds rhythm, but heel-to-toe work rewires the reflexes that protect you from slips and sudden shifts. As inner ear sensitivity and vision depth naturally decline, practicing controlled imbalance trains the nervous system to correct itself faster. A story of quiet courage. Linda, 68, from Seattle, avoided crowded sidewalks after a minor fall. "It's silly," she said, "but I stopped trusting the ground." Her therapist handed her a hallway exercise: heel-to-toe walks between the living room rug and the window. The first few tries, she caught herself wobbling, giggling nervously. Within weeks, her steps turned silent, each toe grazing the next heel like a slow dance. One day she ventured outside, coffee cup in hand, and realized she hadn't scanned the floor for cracks once. "It's like my feet woke up," she smiled. What this means for a 50-plus listener: balance can be retrained with minutes of practice and zero equipment. Instruction block, line of confidence, routine. First, stand tall beside a counter or wall for light support. Next, place your right foot directly in front of your left, so the heel and toes nearly touch. Then, slowly lift your back foot and place it in front of the other, heel to toe, eyes fixed softly on a point ahead, not downward. Finally, walk 10 steps forward, then pause, breathe, and return. Do it barefoot on safe flooring for extra feedback, or wear light shoes if balance feels uncertain. Over time, this gentle sequence strengthens ankles, teaches micro-corrections, and signals your brain to trust the body again. Ignore balance work, and small stumbles can slowly erode confidence. The first domino in independence loss. If you've ever felt nervous walking in crowds or on wet floors, type one word below: balance. You'll find you're not alone, and that courage grows when shared. The posture restorer, seated row and shoulder blade squeeze. Quick action: sit tall on a firm chair, hold a light resistance band or even a towel in both hands, and gently pull it apart while squeezing shoulder blades together. You'll know it's helping when your chest feels open and your back sighs with relief after long sitting. Why it matters after 60. Walking keeps legs busy but often rounds the shoulders, tightening the chest, weakening the upper back, and compressing the lungs. That posture drains oxygen and energy. Surgeons see the downstream effects daily: curved spines, shorter breathing, neck strain, and imbalance. Rowing motions, even seated, restore posture by strengthening the back wall of your frame, the scaffolding that holds you upright and young-looking. A micro-story of rediscovery. Howard, 71, in Virginia, had started noticing the mirror tilt. His reflection seemed bent forward. "I thought it was pride leaving me," he joked. A therapist showed him a simple towel row: elbows back, chest lifted, chin level. In 2 weeks, his wife noticed first. "You look taller," Howard said. "I feel air in places I forgot existed." What this means for a 50-plus listener: a strong back gives your lungs space, your joints freedom, and your balance a center again. Instruction block, row for posture. First, sit upright with your feet flat and shoulders relaxed. Next, hold a resistance band or towel in both hands at chest height, arms extended. Then, draw your elbows back slowly while squeezing shoulder blades together. Imagine holding an orange between them. Finally, release slowly to the start and breathe out. Repeat 5 to 10 times, keeping movement smooth and neck long. Do this once daily to remind your body of its true alignment. Ignore posture work, and even simple walks may feel heavier, as though gravity doubled overnight. Have you ever felt your shoulders rounding more lately? One word: yes or no. Below will tell you how many of us are quietly rebuilding posture together. The everyday strength test, farmer's carry. Practical step: grab 2 light grocery bags or dumbbells, even water bottles, and walk 20 steps, shoulders back, stomach lightly engaged. You'll know it's working when carrying laundry or groceries feels easier, not draining. Why it matters after 60. This simple move, called the farmer's carry, trains grip, core, and stabilizers, muscles that protect your spine and hips when lifting or reaching. Surgeons often recommend it post-recovery because it replicates daily life, strength through control, not force. It reduces risk of shoulder injury, improves coordination, and builds bone density without strain. A large story about quiet empowerment. Janice, 66, from Chicago, had begun to see her grocery bags as symbols of loss. Every trip felt heavier, she confessed. A rehabilitation nurse suggested a carry ritual: 10 paces daily with 2 moderate weights. At first she shuffled. By week 3, she glided. The paper bags rustled softly, her steps steady and confident. "It's not about strength," she said. "It's about trust." What this means for a 50-plus listener: functional strength, grip, core, and control, is what keeps independence real. Instruction block, safe carry habit. First, choose 2 even-weight items you can hold comfortably at your sides. Next, stand tall, shoulders down, eyes ahead. Then, walk slowly for 10 to 20 steps, breathing steadily and keeping your abdomen gently firm. Finally, rest and repeat if comfortable. Always stop before fatigue or strain. You'll notice a subtle but powerful shift. Everyday lifting tasks feel easier and posture corrects itself without thought. Skip it, and grip weakness may quietly predict both balance loss and falls, according to mobility studies. Question for reflection: which daily task do you wish felt easier? Groceries, stairs, or laundry? Your answer might reveal which exercise deserves your focus this week. Surgeons love walking. They recommend it after nearly every knee, hip, and spine procedure. But they also warn, it only builds endurance, not power. After 60, when muscle tissue naturally shrinks by about 1% each year, that's not enough to maintain balance or protect joints. Most people think they're safe if they walk every day, said one orthopedic specialist during a patient education session in Ohio. But walking is like keeping the lights on. These other movements, sit-to-stands, step-ups, heel walks, rows, carries, are what pay the electric bill. His message landed with the quiet gravity of truth. Each of these movements serves a different purpose that walking simply can't reach. Chair rises strengthen the muscles that lift you from the floor or a low seat. Step-ups build the stability in knees and hips that prevents falls before they happen. Heel-to-toe walks retrain your balance when life throws uneven ground beneath you. Seated rows open the chest, restore posture, and help your lungs breathe freely again. And farmer's carries, those simple walks with light weights, rebuild grip and forearm power, one of the clearest signs of longevity and vitality. For the 60-plus body, this blend of movements creates what doctors call functional reserve, the extra strength your body can call upon in sudden moments of need. It's like having an emergency generator for your muscles. That reserve becomes your hidden insurance policy. It's the reason one person recovers from a stumble and another does not. David, 75, from Colorado Springs, was proud of his 10,000 daily steps. Every morning, he traced the same path through the park, counting each stride on his wrist tracker. Then, one icy February morning, his boot slipped, and he tore a tendon in his shoulder trying to catch himself. Recovery was slow until his surgeon's assistant introduced him to 5 simple drills, the same movements surgeons quietly rely on for post-surgery strength. You don't need more steps, she told him. You need smarter ones. 3 months later, David was back on the trail. This time, every half-mile, he stopped beside a boulder and performed 10 slow sit-to-stands, breathing deeply, the mountain air biting gently at his skin. He called them mountain prayers. What this means for a 50-plus listener, the secret to aging strong isn't walking farther. It's walking smarter, supported by targeted strength that keeps your body prepared for life's surprises. Before you move on, pause for one quiet breath. Feel both heels grounded beneath you, toes relaxed, chest open. That single moment of awareness, of your weight balanced and steady, is where strength truly begins. The micro-routine, 10 minutes that rebuild strength and balance. Here's a practical framework to turn these 5 exercises into a single, daily rhythm. No gym, no complex setup. Instruction block, the 10-minute strong routine. First, start in the morning. Perform 5 controlled sit-to-stands from a sturdy chair. Next, walk to a low step and complete 5 step-ups per leg, using a rail for light balance. Then, practice 1 hallway length of heel-to-toe walking, slow and quiet. After that, sit upright and do 8 gentle rows with a towel or band, breathing deeply. Finally, grab 2 small weights or bottles and walk 20 steps around your kitchen or porch for the farmer's carry. The full sequence takes less than 10 minutes, yet surgeons note it stimulates nearly every muscle group responsible for independence: thighs, hips, core, shoulders, grip, and ankles. Repeat this micro-routine 3 to 4 times per week, or once daily if it feels good. Results build quietly. Within 2 weeks, Most notice steadier mornings and fewer "I almost tripped" moments. Within 2 months, daily tasks like getting up from a car, reaching shelves, or carrying laundry feel smoother. If you can commit to one thing today, let it be this: color your walking routine with intention. It's not about distance, it's about ability. Question for the comments: which of these 5 feels most important for you right now? Strength, balance, or endurance? From motion to mastery, reclaiming freedom after 60. Close your eyes and imagine this: a morning where you rise without a groan, put on your shoes in one smooth motion, and reach the porch feeling taller. The sunlight feels different because you feel different, not brittle, but capable. This isn't about fitness. It's about freedom. For those over 60, movement is medicine, but precision is the prescription. The body still learns, heals, and strengthens. It just asks for focus instead of force. These 5 exercises, tested, recommended, and approved by surgeons who've seen both sides of recovery, rebuild the scaffolding that walking alone can't reach. Every slow rise from a chair, every careful heel-to-toe step, every squeeze of your shoulder blades whispers the same truth: I'm not done improving. You don't need to chase youth. You only need to claim strength. If this message spoke to you, if you felt that spark of determination somewhere in your chest, take a second and write one word in the comments: strong. Let's fill that space with proof that aging isn't the end of movement. It's the refinement of it. Thank you for being part of Senior Wisdom and Wellness, where every week we turn quiet knowledge into everyday power. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Share this story with someone who still believes walking is the only path, and remind them: the secret to staying young is not moving more, but moving right.